those of you who check my TV trash schedules, I posted a few weeks ago. I laid out the entire fall schedule and what's going to be forthcoming. The next review in the next couple of weeks is of Da Boom Crew. This was requested by a Patreon supporter. Still, I bet you thought I probably should have gotten to it eventually. And after that, about a month from now, actually, a couple of weeks after the Da Boom Crew review, will be Scream Queens. And this was one that, it wasn't an official request, but was referred to me by a number of longtime viewers. As of this recording, I have watched the full first season of it. Have actually gotten the whole review written up. The next two reviews are actually written in full. Hope to be recording them very soon. But obviously it's going to be a very loud, descriptive, in-character review for me when I finally cover this show. But just after watching it, there's definitely some things I need to want to talk about beforehand and just give an upfront, honest take on it. And it's entirely possible you'll see more of these honest take reviews here on Rowdy Live as we try to come up with new segments to occasionally air as often as possible. But see, the thing is, and I'm gonna try to avoid. There's gonna be some spoilers in this honest take. But I'm trying to avoid talking about all of the most specific details about the show. Just to make certain there's still something worth watching when the review comes out. But if you've never seen this show, if you don't know what it's about, imagine a Wes Craven film. Well, yes, I am using OBS, actually, Test Zero. Hopefully everything is good to go on there. But as I was about to say, if you don't know what Scream Queens is about, imagine a Wes Craven movie after the rant, yeah. Imagine a Wes Craven movie from the 1990s if it was made by the creators of Glee and stretched out to 13 one-hour episodes of a TV series. You've pretty much got the premise of what Scream Queens is. And there's nothing necessarily wrong with that. Now, full disclosure here, I'm not as much of a horror buff as probably a number of my colleagues like Adam J. or the Horror Guru are. That having been said, this actually was a very compelling series for me to watch. I did get into it, and I will give them credit that the performers went all out in this thing. And yet, just the fact that the one of the main characters is played by, of course, Julia Roberts' niece Emma, and plays one of the most despicable characters I've ever seen, even with all my TV watching, really tells me that Emma Roberts wanted to carve out her own niche, so to speak. It's almost like she took this TV show to make sure everyone knows I am not my Aunt Julia. And she delivers with flying colors in that thing. I mean, they just do so much crazy stuff in this whole series that it is a comedic horror slasher series in every sense of the word. But the thing about it, what got is there's the way the first season ended. And again, I'm going to avoid extreme specifics, so there's plenty for you to watch when the review comes out, but the way they put together the ending to this review, to this series. Of course, it's made by the creators, Ryan Murphy, Brad Falchuk, and Ian Brennan, same guys who made Glee. I don't think I've ever seen anything written more brilliantly and yet so sadistic. That's pretty much the word I have to come up with in saying how this thing ended, because, again, without giving away too much, but I will have to sum up the ending to it, so spoiler warnings there. To long story sum that up, the killer gets away with the crimes they commit. At least one of them. There's multiple killers, it turns out. The one that's left gets away with the crimes. Not only that, but successfully frames a number of individuals for committing those crimes. But at the same time, the people who get framed for the crimes are people that I think you would pretty much spend the entire series wanting to see something bad happen to them in the end to more or less get their comeuppance. Because these characters that get it in the end are very horrible people. Even though they don't die in the end, but they still end up supposedly getting their due, but they get it in a way that makes you think, makes you really have to think of saying, that's not how I want it to happen. Not only that, but it actually ultimately turns out that those characters, they like what happened to them in the end. I give the writers all the credit in the world for knowing exactly what they wanted to do. And if anything, it makes you have to think in the end. Because after all of this outright insanity, the one series I have to compare it to is that infamous harem girl anime series, not a harem girl anime series, but battle anime series, Master of Martial Arts. And if you've ever seen or heard of that series and how it ended, you know exactly what I'm talking about. As far as the way it ended as just a kick in the crotch to its viewers who tuned in wanting to see one thing and saw an ending that essentially said, be careful what you wish for. The way Scream Queens ends is kind of like that, but admittedly done better. You really want to see the characters who get punished in the end suffer. But you want to see them suffer for things they actually did and not have to get set up for things they didn't do. And in honesty, I'm really torn about the ending. And I have seen the at least the first part of the Season 2 premiere. I will watch Season 2 eventually. I will review Season 2 eventually. That's probably not happening until sometime next year. I think I have the approximate time period of when I want to review that, but again, I don't think I've watched a TV show in a long time that's ultimately ended, as far as the season goes, with such a mixed feeling, love-hate attitude towards it. It's something I could watch as a guilty pleasure, I would think, quite a bit. Except for that last episode of the season. It's like I really want to hate Murphy and Company for the way they ended it, but I'd only be hating myself in doing that because they just set me up so magnificently. They really were magnificent bastards the way they ended this thing.